Welcome back, everybody, or welcome to those of you who have never seen my channel before. Today is Sunday. I'm out here in Baxter State Park still. It's about 5 minutes to 1, out here chasing waterfalls. So today's object is to get 3 waterfalls here in Baxter State Park complete. They have Little Niagara, Big Niagara, and Katadhin Stream Falls. So currently I'm at the location for Little and Big Niagara. So yeah, and after this we'll move over to the Katadhin Stream Falls, which is about 2.5 miles from this camping area in this area that I'm at right now. So anyway, let's go get some waterfalls done today.
Something's wrong, I waited up, wounds on my feet. Where will you be? Flickering through memories, the Polaroids yellowed in the sun, longing to be seen. So come and hide with me, hide with me, hide with me. Come and hide with me.
Alright, so just figured I'd tell you as I'm walking. I can't tell you how good it is to be out shooting, vlogging, and getting this done again. It's been too long since I was able to get out with all the stuff I had going on this summer. So it's been really nice to get out here and do this weekend. You know, being out here and good old Mother Nature in the elements, doing things that you haven't done, like yesterday climbing that mountain, climbing Double Top Mountain. So the weather's been cooperative all weekend. I mean, the day that I climbed the Double Top Mountain, I mean, I was trying to do some photography up there, but it was just so harsh lighting. It was perfectly blue skies all around me, so I didn't get any great photography done yesterday. But so that was one of the reasons why I decided to come out and do this today. Try to find these 3 waterfalls, try to get some good long exposures, brought the leaf filters. I'm gonna try to get a few different shots of these waterfalls, get some nice smooth water with the leaf filter systems, and just have a great time. So let's go do this. Alright, so we're here at the fork in the road. Left to go to Big Niagara Falls, right will take us to Little Niagara Falls. I say we do them in sequential order, from smallest to biggest. So Little Niagara Falls first it is. Okay, so we've made it here to Little Niagara Falls. This is the first of 3 falls we're going to be shooting today. It's got a nice angled fall, so it'll create a great leading line for a composition. Okay, so like I said, at each of these falls we're going to do about 3 compositions. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scout around with the camera in my hand, look for some compositions to find, some good things to put in the foreground, get some foreground inches for this falls, and then we'll start shooting. So we're going to have 3 images from this location, then we're going to move on to Big Niagara, do the same thing over to that one, and then finally after that we'll pack things up in the car and move over to Katadhin Stream Falls, which is about 2.5 miles from here, and then another mile or so hike in. So again, I'm going to do some recon for this site. We'll get things going here in a second. Okay, so that's what I tend to do on a site when I'm looking for multiple compositions. I'll grab my camera handheld and I'll walk around the area, take different vantage points, go low, you know, try to put different things in the foreground for foreground interest. I try to do that before I get anything else set up, because a lot of times you have a tendency, once you put your tripod down, it's almost like an anchor. You're stuck there. So I try to find multiple compositions before I get anything set up, especially when I'm trying to find more than one image from a location. So I found about 3 good little compositions right now. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the camera gear, the tripod and everything set up at the first composition that I'm going to do, and then we'll get going. Okay, so I'm all set up for the first composition. I was lucky enough to find this piece of driftwood sitting here on the banks and amongst all these rocks right here in the shallow water, and it's pointing like directly towards the waterfall, so I'll be able to get a really good composition of this little piece of driftwood in the lower left-hand corner of the frame, angled up into and pointing to the main focal point of the image, which is the waterfall. So without any filters at f11, I'm getting about a 1/20th of a second shutter speed with ISO 100. So again, I'm going to bring out the little stopper and big stopper to see which one's going to give me the best smooth water effect that I want to get, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead, get the Lee filter system set up real quick, get the first image, and then we'll move on to the next one. Alright, since I've already got the Lee filter adapter, I've already got the big stopper in there. I'm going to go straight to the big stopper first and see what kind of shutter speed I'm getting with that. I might actually have to go down to f8, which I don't have a problem with. This lens is great at f8, to keep it under 30 seconds it looks like. So let me double check. I had 1/20th of a second for shutter speed, and it's saying for the 10 stop at 1/20th, that's quite a bit of time. So it's 50 seconds. I'm not sure I want to go that long for exposure. So let me go ahead and move it to f8 to see what kind of exposure I'm going to get there. So f8 is giving me 1/50th of a second, and then I'm probably going to go underexpose a little bit on that, go 1/80th of a second. So let's go back to the Lee Filters app and see what it says for 1/80th of a second now. 1/80th of a second gets me now at 13 seconds. So it went from 50 seconds to 13. It's much more manageable to do that. So anytime you're getting more exposure time than you really want on a specific f-stop, especially if you're up there above, 9, 10, 11 and higher, just go back down in your f-stops, go down to 8, because that's a good sharp f-stop. You can even go down in the 7s and 6s if you need to. I'm not going that far for my focal length, so I'm not going to lose any sharpness by going down in my f-stop to get into a manageable shutter speed. So I'm on f8. We're going to go ahead and set this to 13 seconds, like the app said to do. It looks like it's going to be exactly where I put it before I put the system on there. It's just underexposed, about a half a stop, which is fine because I'll be able to bring that out in post-processing. So final settings for this first composition: 13 seconds, f8, ISO 100, 2-second timer. Absolutely gorgeous. Love it. Alright, we're on to the next image. Okay, so the next one's going to be a difficult one for me to capture because I don't know if you saw me when I was walking around hand holding my camera. I actually walked out into the water where this fallen tree's at, and I really like the composition that I get from it. So that means I'm going to have to set you up, the camera up, and myself up inside that stream, which I'm not real comfortable doing. It's a lot of money sitting on these tripods to get out there in that water. But I'll figure it out, I'll make it happen, and we'll get this image done. Wish me luck. Okay, I'm set up for this second composition. I got the tripod nice and sturdy in this stream, I mean, it's each of the legs, I think, is wedged in between and anchored with some really good sized boulders. So I went ahead and kept the lead big stopper on there just to minimize time. I liked what it did for me on the last image, so I'm assuming that it's going to do the same thing on this one. It's gotten a little bit brighter in the sky, so instead of 13 seconds exposure time, I'm getting about a 10-second exposure time now, so it should still render the same kind of smooth motion in the water that I'm looking for. So I have this log that's creating a leading line from the bottom right-hand corner of the frame, leading up to about the center of the frame, and then right at the top of the log is the waterfall, the base of it, and it goes back up into the right-hand corner of the frame. So it looks like a really good composition. I'm at about 26 millimeters focal length, f8, ISO 100, 10 seconds, and a 2-second timer. And you see me holding my weight on the tripod still, just to provide a little bit more stability inside this stream, eliminate or minimize any kind of shake on the camera at all. Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's pack things up here. We'll move on to the next spot. We have one more image here, and then we're going to move from Little Niagara over to Big Niagara, and then on to Katadhin Stream Falls. So one more image here, and then we'll move on. Okay, so yes, I'm still standing in the stinking river, or the stream. In fact, I crossed the entire thing, went up knee deep in the water with both kits in both hands. So I'm kind of lucky there wasn't too many people around watching me, because they would have been like, this dumbass is going to drop all his gear in the water. But luckily I didn't. But I did find the third and final composition for this location. I went down lower stream, further downstream, so I can get more of the bottom tail end of this waterfall stream, and then now it's in the bottom right hand corner of the frame, and it's going to lead us all the way up into the frame and have the main Little Niagara waterfalls at the top right hand corner of the frame. I stuck with the lead big stopper just because I like what it's been doing for me on this location. So currently I'm at F11, 8-second shutter speed, ISO 100, and a 2-second timer. Absolutely gorgeous.
Just got up, something's wrong. I waited up, wounds on my feet. Where